F1 finally speeds its way to home video. Is it worth it, or is it a bit of a letdown? What is going on, everybody? Tom Chattelbash here, and if you love 4K movies and you love physical media in general, then rest assured you are in the right place. Without further ado, let's review the new 4K release of F1 starring Brad Pitt. Now, I wasn't sure if F1 was actually going to get a home video release since, Apple TV produced it, even though, Warner Brothers was a part of this, but thankfully, we are getting a home video release here, and not only that, but we have a Steelbook release that I have in my possession today. And this is one I've been looking forward to for a while because when I saw this movie in theaters, it was such an amazing experience, especially in Dolby, where it just looked and sounded incredible. I could not wait for the home video release. Now, this 4K comes to us in Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos. This film was shot digitally, so yes, it's going to look very clean. It's going to look very crisp. But my main concern was, is this going to sound as good as it did in theaters? Is it going to sound as good as it should on home video? That was my main concern, my main focus going into this home video release. Now, in my possession, I've got the Steelbook edition of F1. I know I keep saying I'm the guy that that does not like Steelbooks, but honestly, lately, I feel like I have bought so many Steelbooks that I just, every time I say that, it just loses more and more of its value. But I really liked the look of this Steelbook, and thankfully it does feel like it's worth it. It's got a very glossy appeal to it. I like the design, and inside, of course, you've got your your 4K, you've got your Blu-ray, you've got your digital code, and I do think this is a very nice Steelbook release. So I have to say, in terms of, which one I was going to go for, the standard edition had a very bland cover, so I wanted something a little bit more, I don't know, showy, and I'm kind of glad I picked this one up. But enough of that. How is this 4K release? Is it worthwhile? Is it as good as it was in the theaters in terms of the overall visual and audio experience? To that, I say yes and no. I will say, in terms of the visuals, this movie looks stunning. I mean, the clarity and detail is off the charts. I mean, like I said, this film was shot digitally, and I think a lot of it was shot digitally with 4K and 8K cameras, so it just looks absolutely stunning. The close-ups look jaw-droppingly good. I mean, it definitely feels and looks like a modern film, but you can definitely tell there's a very, thin layer of digital film grain that they're adding to it to kind of give it more of a filmic feel, which is fine because it's not obtrusive, it's not done too heavy-handed. It's done in a way where it's more thoughtful than it is overdone, and I appreciated that. But it definitely is a little bit noticeable here and there. But overall, though, this movie looks absolutely visually stunning on disc. So if you have a high-quality TV, I'm watching it on an OLED, it looks unreal. It looks so damn good. Now let's get to the audio. This is where it's been a hot topic among reviewers in the 4K or physical media space, because I've watched quite a bit of reviews. I've read quite a few reviews of this film on 4K, and I have to say, I agree and also disagree with some of these reviews. So let's talk about that a little bit. Now, obviously here, we get a Dolby Atmos track, and when I saw this in Dolby, when I saw it in theaters, it sounded amazing, and oh my god, did it sound good. So I was thinking, okay, well, on disc, this is going to sound nuts, right? Not really. But see, it's weird. It's like, I know that this audio mix could be better. It definitely could be better. But still, I did enjoy this mix, if that makes sense. I do think there's some great surround activity. I think the dialogue is very crisp and clear. I think the bass is really punchy and fun. I mean, in the first racing sequence of the film, when this, needle drop hits, I feel like the bass really hit, and it felt amazing, and it felt really well done. And just throughout this film, I feel like the bass is really solid. And also, I do feel like the surround activity does make it a relatively fun experience, even though I feel like they could have been utilized a little bit more. But when you have an Atmos mix, you want those height channels utilized. You want this to feel like a fully rounded audio mix, where if you're going to give us an Atmos mix, give us a damn good Atmos mix. And this is surprising that I was a little bit let down in this department, considering that this is a Joseph Kosinski film, and his discs sound usually phenomenal. Whether it's, Top Gun Maverick or Tron Legacy or, Oblivion. I mean, this guy's movies usually sound amazing. And while this disc sounds good, I just can't help but feel it could have sounded a lot better. There are so many instances where I feel like the Atmos could have been way better, where the height channels could have been utilized a way better. I mean, there are some instances where I do feel like it does work well, especially there's, one sequence early on in the film where fireworks are going off, and you do feel like that does hit the height channels a little bit, and that's really cool. But I feel like when you're in the cockpit, with Brad Pitt's character in these F1 cars. I just feel like the high channels could have been utilized a lot more. I also feel like they could have been utilized more in a lot of these racing sequences where there are moments where that absolutely could have hit more with an Atmos mix like this, but it just didn't. And overall, though, I just felt like this could have been a punchier mix. It just felt a little bit standard, if that makes sense. It's serviceable, it's good. I didn't hate it or anything, and I enjoyed listening to it, but I couldn't help but feel like this should sound incredible on disc, because there are racing films that sound unreal on disc. I still think Ford v Ferrari is one of the best audio mixes I've ever heard. Every time I pop that disc in, I am blown away by how good that freaking movie sounds on my sound system. But yeah, on the whole, audio-wise, I do think it's a bit of a mixed bag. It's good, it just could have been so much better. It could have been so much greater. And I'm curious if other people are going to feel similarly, but I have read some reviews that do make me feel a little bit validated in this regard. It's just, I don't know. I just feel like it could have been a little bit better. But look, I love this movie. It was one of my favorite films of the summer, and I think on disc it does look, and for the most part, sound good on disc. I just feel in the audio department, it just could have been a lot better. And I also wish this movie had the switching IMAX ratios, or even was just given to us in the full IMAX ratio, because when I saw it in Dolby, it was just fully IMAX the entire time. So it feels like a bit of a bummer to not get that on disc. So yeah, F1 in the end here, it's a good disc, don't get me wrong, but this should have been a phenomenal reference quality disc, and the fact that it's not is a bummer in and of itself. Do I regret buying this disc? Absolutely not. It's one of my favorite movies of the year, and I still think it sounds great, and visually, like I said, it looks stunning. But yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed with this one. I think it could have been better, and I know it could have been better. It's just a shame that the audio mix isn't better than it is here. But let me know what you think of F1 on 4K if you've checked it out. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Do you think it's just okay? Let me know down below. And if you're on the fence about buying this one, or if you really felt like you weren't going to buy this one, do you feel more compelled to do so now? Or maybe do you feel less compelled to do so now? Let me know in the comments below. And make sure to subscribe to my main channel, Chattel Bash Reviews, where I review a lot of the latest films and television shows. Link to that in the description. And until next time, everybody, I'm Tom Chattel Bash, YouTube's most reliable movie critic.